let us start this lecture with a thought process, that is, creativity is the alchemy of human life. As I told, that creativity is a part and parcel of human life, provided we are being educated and reared properly, and also that depends on the social and political environment where we are living. So, and that is the panacea, rather I can say, of all the problems what we are facing today. So, let us recall that what we learned in the last lecture. We basically looked at the why are ancient science and technology relevant today, that question we are trying to answer. In the process, we looked at what are the problems we are facing in modern time due to the blatant misuse, abuse of modern science and technology. And we looked at also the how we are leading life, how it is connected with that, but now we know the problems, causes of the problem, but what are the solution, we need to look at it. So, for that we will have to look at a very great person, his name is Kautilya, whose name is also known as Vishnugupta, who was instrumental in installing the Chandragupta as a king of Maurya empire. So, he has also written a very beautiful book known as Arthashastra, which is the most exhaustive book on the state craftsmanship, and then lot of science and technology in that, and lot of things are there. So, I would urge upon you people to look at that book. It is one of the rarest book, and we lost a lot of book due to the invasion by the outside people, and they destroyed lot of things, but unfortunately we are having that book, and we could see that what science, technology, philosophy and other things we are having at that time, that book. What he says that Navena Annuang Sodayat. What is the meaning of that? That means relook at the past heritage with modern outlook. He is not saying that you just copy the old thing in the new way. No, you should not do the old wine in a new bottle. You will have to research, find it out, look at the essence and do whatever required at this moment. And this is the very important thing. What we are doing today in the name of modernity, we are just copying the Western people and pasting here, copy paste. We do not understand that those things what they are doing, that may be good for them, but not for good for us. That does not mean we will not learn from them. We should learn from them, but with understanding, which is implication, by integrating with our culture and heritage values that we have inherited from time immemorial. So, therefore, we need to look at it, and that is the message what he has given. So, what are the solutions then? Solutions are whatever come to my mind I will tell, but I just want to hear from you that what are the solutions coming to your mind. He has given us pointers or the direction, Kautilya. He has said, look at the heritage, do research on that, find it out what is the essence. That means what is the meaning? Meaning is that we need to look at our root. Yes or no? Yes. Can any of you tell me any other points? Because the root is very important, and once you look at root, then we need to look at this back to our cultural heritage, right, which thrives for thousands of years. Even today you will find signature of our culture which was there even Harappan or before that even. Can anybody tell me any signature you are aware? Even the picture, the way we make, it was there in Harappan time, technology wise. Picture, like for getting, collecting the water, right, out of mud, that still it is going on. There are several things, like for example, in your auspicious occasion, you put a pitcher full of water. Why? And that tradition is there from Vedic era. Still we are following, but we should know why you are following, right. So, there are several signatures, but those signatures are those what you call markers are going out day by day from us due to the blatant what we call acceptance of modern principles from Western people without understanding. So, it is just that is why we need to I call it as a cultural invasion for us. We do not understand there is an invasion. So, therefore, we need to be careful and do that and try to investigate the ancient scientific heritage of our civilization. As I am emphasizing time and again, this civilization is still alive, although it is about to die, but we can make it survive with our own effort by understanding its efficacy. So, therefore, we need to investigate, do research, do not be emotional that we are part, no, we will have to find out what is the truth. As I told, we are truth searcher. So, therefore, we should do that and redefine the philosophy of science and technology. If you look at the Western way of doing the thing, that they will have to win over them, those science and technology as basically reductionist. Reductionist, they will find out small, they will look at very myopic eyes, they do not look at the bigger pictures. They will say, look, if I will take a mountain, what will happen? If I destroy this thing, so for example, I will give you an example. We are having Eastern Ghat, Western Ghat, which is protecting us from the sea's onslaught, because nature will work, lot of wind will come in the rainy seasons and summer, right, and that will be taken thwarted by the West, and that will also water will come over there, and then cloud will come, make the rain, and then we will get water and this thing. But it will destroy, what will happen? What will happen to the ecology? It will get spoiled, and we are doing that, right. And therefore, and we should say these are all divine, and our scripture says those are all mountains, jungles, and then like other things, all the limbs of the mother nature are divine, therefore, we should not destroy it, we should. So, therefore, we should be a part of it, and we look at whole picture, holistic approach. So, therefore, the philosophy has to be defined, and we should say that we are not living alone, we should live with others. Man is not only the animals should be here in this earth, all are connected, interconnected. So, interconnectivity has to be accepted in toto while designing, developing technologies and also unraveling the science. So, that philosophy has to be changed, and which is not with the modern philosophy of science and technology. Redefine our individual life. We are not here to plunder, we are not here to only take food and sleep and then die. We are here to help and realize our potential. So, therefore, reshape the collective life of our society, live together, togetherness, joining, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that means all are family. It is not only the human being, but the animal, insect, even birds, even this any other living, non-living, all are part of Brahm, what we call our scripture. So, that is has to be looked at it. So, what I was telling, therefore, we need to look at our root. Root is very important, because without root we cannot really grow, and we want to grow as a human being. And so, therefore, to have a faith in our culture and heritage, it is not a blind faith that I am talking about. It is not that something is written in a Bible or Veda that I will have to follow. No, I will have to question the wisdom, whatever it is there even in our scriptures, even in our life, because our scripture says, Yukti yuktang bacho grayam bharat api sukat api yukti hinang bachang stejam buddhat api sukat api. The meaning is that even if a person, a small baby, even a parrot is telling some logical thing, please follow that. If a person of wisdom, a old man or a knowledgeable person is saying something wrong which is illogical, please do not accept. That is the ethos what our scriptures has talked about it, and we need to follow. But once, that does not mean that I do not know, I will say it is no. I need to investigate, I need to find out, we need to look at it, check it, and then say, and then have a faith in that. So, that is the culture heritage we are having, to explore the new ways and means to overcome the excessive exploitation of nature armed with power of science and technology. So, that means we need to overcome this problem, to live with the nature, use the minimum. The Western way of consume more, it is the other way around, consume less, distort less. Suppose for example, I can manage with 2 or 3 short pants, I can take less amount of food, I do not need it, right. I do not need, like nowadays people are having husband, wife, 2 person, 3 cars, we do not need it. So, therefore, this is, and when you are traveling, you can take people with you, so that it will be good. Even if you are going car alone, why you will go alone, you take 3-4 people, so that people will benefit it and the pollution can be reduced. So, this is the way you need to redefine your life and individual life and this thing, and also find out how we live with mother nature. So, to learn about the philosophy of life led by our ancestors, that may lead us to the sea of happiness and prosperity, because the balance is a very important key for the human life, which was being propagated and professed by our ancestors. So, therefore, we need to look at it and to explore and experience our potentiality. Our scripture says we have infinite potential. If we are having infinite potential, an human being can experience that, and we need to do that, then only we can do a better science and technology, and so that you will get intuitive power. And intuitive power is very important for doing better science and technology. To express ourselves for serving others selflessly. Unless you serve others, unless your heart will bleed for the people around you, then you will not get the ideas of, or intuitive knowledge you will not get. So, therefore, that has to be done to revive our ancient science and technology and its ethos. So, therefore, you need to do that. So, that is the way we need to go about it, and I will just tell you the glimpses of ancient Indian science and technology, because it is a very vast, and also we do not have a lot of scriptures at this moment, and because most of are being destroyed, and also with the modernity, lot of scriptures which were lying maybe during my grandfather times, and that were not taken care. I will tell from my experience. My father left my village, grandfather's village, and then he was having lot of scriptures lying. I remember that I had gone home, and there in their puja house there is a lot of scriptures in the palm leaves, and then my grandfather died, and then everything lost. I do not know what those scriptures will be containing, but today when I am thinking of looking at, those are not there. So, therefore, it is not true with my family alone, it is with the most of the things, and we lost it. And so, therefore, we will not get all the things, but I will tell you the very roughly what it is things. We can go back chronological order, and if you look at 25,000 BC before, we call it basically early Stone Age, or people call it Paleolithic period, early Paleolithic periods, where people are using copper and chopping tools, hand axe kind of things, right. And this what people after, whatever I am saying, it is because whatever the historians they have accepted, but if you look at our other scriptures, they do not agree with that, but I am saying whatever people have accepted, right. Because there might be much more than that, and I do not want to invite controversy, otherwise I could have talked about it, but let us say in that region, Punjab region, peninsular India and extreme south, they were having the what you call, people were having habitats in these areas, and 25,000 to 5,000 BC we are having basically middle Stone Age what we call, and middle Paleolithic period, and predominance of flake tools like scrapers, like borers, points, they were using various metal, even some stones being used basically. I think metal came later on according to the modern historians. And 5000 to 3000 BC, we call it late Stone Age, predominance of microliths, is a very tiny tools which will be people will be using, flakes and blades and lunettes. Lunettes means crescent shape of lunar, that kind of tool they were using, and scrapers, we scrap the floor that way, and chisels, trapezoidal shape, triangular shapes, like drills and bores, they started using the metals, and these are the same region. And 3000 to 1500 BC, Harappa culture, which was accepted worldwide. But if you look at recently, as I told in the last lecture, IIT Kharagpur, people have done research and published in Nature journal. They are claiming that it is 8000 years back, that means basically 6000 BC, right, and we are culture, and always we feel that it is not 6000, rather 10,000 or more than that. That is our way of thinking. But we need to do research to prove it. It is not that we will say it is. We need to do research. I hope and wish with this lecture you people will be motivated to carry out research and give some of your time to unravel and prove to the world that we are having a very old civilization and great culture. So, copper bronze technology we are having very good, and lost wax casting process, those people will be knowing, and I will be talking about it, that we use this ideal, right, making in modern time. We use this technique for making the turbine blades, compressors and other things, very intricate shapes we can fabricate. And wheels made decorated and glazed pottery. Pottery were very good at that time. Agriculture technology, I will be discussing about that, what we are doing. Domestication of animal, drainage and public bath, we will be discussing, I will be showing some picture later on. We are using brick since 3000 BC, and now it is being established that it is not 3000 BC, 6000 BC. Motor constructions, buildings like we do. Town planning, I will be discussing about later on. Spinning, weaving, basically this is about textiles, right. And navigations and dockyards, we are having proof to show that we are having shipbuilding technologies and dockyard to keep the ships there. And it is the Sindh, Punjab, Rajputana, Haryana and Saurashtra regions, it is a very larger regions. And of course, I always feel the southern side part of these are all the northern part and then northern western side kind of things, but I always believe the southern part also will be having a great thing, because this is a sea was there. So, therefore, I am having belief, but that has to be proved. So, if you look at 1500 to 1000 BC, the Vedic era, what people already accepted, but my belief is that it is much before that, but I do not have a proof. If you people will get the proof, it will be nice. And concept of natural laws, so people talk about laws, physical laws, they were having that. And unstic idea concerning water, I will be quoting something from Upanishad what water is when I will be talking about water harvesting. And nakshatra system, that is what we use for our astrology, it was from Vedic era, and there is a Vedang Jyotish also. Calendar system, calendar, of course, we are using the other calendar, we are having our own calendars which is very old and very sophisticated. You can predict a lot of things out of calendar, unlike your what you call this modern calendar, what do you call that? Gregorian calendar, right, that is not that good according to me, but of course, we are using it. So, knowledge of diseases and cure, like health wise. So, there identified agriculture is a plow, fermentation methods, this also are there, and numbered names on decimal scale up to 10 power to 12. I cannot think what will be the size of number they were thinking, today it is very difficult to think. So, that is again they are talking about Punjab, Kashmir regions, western UP, Gangetic plains, they were not concerned about the southern part. I always believe that will be there, and because for this people have excavated and they got the evidence, right. and their excavation need to be done in the southern side, but where to do that is another question, like where I will go, I cannot excavate all the places. So, that is the thing, and this something 1000 to 700 BC, Yajurved, Atharved, Brahmanas and Aranyaks, all those things being written, people are talking about. There is several things, I will not go through it, I will only tell that these are the things which people are having, like mathematical series, right, and they were talking about cosmic cycles, and like we are have used some Taylor series, there are several binomial series, we will do lot of things are there in our from the time, and more physiological, anatomical, and about the health and doctrine of Panchabhutas. We talk about, sometimes we do know, maybe you people may not be aware, at least I was aware about Panchabhutas, painted grey vase, and then the people started using iron during this Vedic era, right, and their uses, and even soil fertility, how to enhance the fertility of the land for agriculture. They have started doing like your compost, what we use, even. And 600 to 500 BC, this is basically using of iron and steel, and then they are claiming, the modern historians, they are saying eastern part and central and other parts of India, this already spread this civilization, what they are claiming, but I do not believe. I believe that is the total place the civilization was there. Maybe small pockets where the what you call jungles and other things there, but it is the whole country according to me. But do not go by me, go by the historians, because those are provable. Okay. So, 500 to something around AD till this thing Vedanga Jyotisa and Sulabh Sutra and Vaisesika, if you look at, is very great things, because they will be talking about structure of the atom. You must not have studied this in atomic theory, because we do not teach that thing, we teach the outside country what they are talking. We are having very beautiful system, atomism and time and motion and the sound, whatever the physics will look. Of course, they look at in a very different way. Their main objective is spirituality, but in that they look at. So, and beside this, if you look at this Pythagoras theorem and other thing, these are there during this Sulabha Sutra, is much before the Pythagoras, and binomial series, and then several others like geometry, rational numbers, and lot of things were there, but we need to look at, and then again it has spread to the other part, eastern and central part of the India. So, this is from 0 like your this thing to the 500 AD, and there is a several treatises have come up during that time. One is Charaka and Sushruta Samhita, you might be aware, because today Ayurveda being again coming back, so also yoga. So, therefore, some of you might be aware, and Nyaya Bhasya is another things, and as I told, Arthashastra of Kautilya by the Vishnugupta, and the Jain and Buddha scriptures, there is a lot of things and lot of science, and you can see in those scriptures also. So, if you look at, there is a lot of things are there, I will not go through all of them, only I will tell you few of them, like for example, glass making started doing that, and for example, propagation of sounds, and the classification of animal and plants they have done in a very systematic way. I am like, we need to look at it, we are not teaching those things in the school and college, it should be taught. And like pi, sine values, extracts. See, if you look at square and cube roots, it was a difficult one, we always use quadratic equation, right, but cube roots, and then again first order equations, and then other things are being talked about in this here. And there is a engineering wise lot of things like forgings, like what you call lithographies and rhapotomy, and then rhinoplasty. Nowadays it is also being used. So, something 19 decimal points where they started, and wrought iron made of cast in 2 layers, particularly in Indo-Gangestic plains. And if you look at in 600 AD onwards, there is a several things like Pancha Siddhantikas, like Saura, Polysya, Romakar, Brahma and Pratima. These are the things, they lot of concepts they put together. During that a concept of Mahajuga, what they calling that is a very big years, they are saying various yugas like Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, all those things. And the Brihad Samhita Barahami era is being written at that time, and where the chemical processes, plant and animal classifications, and there was another book which is very good, and then it is still there. Of course, lot of, as I told, lot of scriptures, lot of textbooks were being burnt out because of, you might be aware, this Nalanda and other things got destroyed. And we are the first people, we are having several universities in ancient times. So, those universities were being destroyed. So, we lost a lot of things, and classification synonyms of plants, animals and minerals and metals they have done in Amarkosh. And these are of course the encyclopedia today you are thinking of, but at that time it was there, like Surya Siddhanta provides the best and most accurate tithis, like this is Surya Siddhanta is a book which will provide about the tithis. And 700 to 800, this is Brahma Supta Siddhanta. Like if you look at it, is having a lot of treatise about mathematics, astronomy and other things, where the equation of second order arithmetic progression of for nth terms, like lot of complex mathematics as being the area of cyclic quadrilaterals, volume rules, diagnostic methods are being talked about. If you look at that book was translated into the like Sindh Hind, that book is translated Brahma Supta Siddhanta, which was by the Brahmagupta. It is being translated to Arabic, and then there is another book Khanda Khadyaka by the again Brahmagupta, is sent to Arkhand, his name is in Arabic. And like Madhava Nidana, which is also translated into Badan, and then Ashtanga Hridaya is a Ayurvedic text by Bhagavat, is also translated into Arabic like Ashtankar. So, these are the things we know it is being translated. There might be several things which might be translated and gone to the western countries, we do not know, right, or nor we are doing research on that at this moment. So, therefore, there are a lot of things are there, and I would like to stop over here, and we will look at this chronological in the next lecture. We can now at least you can having the idea about whatever the little text we are having today, it is showing a lot. Now, if we imagine that all the scriptures we could have kept, even some of the scriptures are people are trying and to get them back, and lot of people are having, they do not want to give because of possessiveness. And there was a what you call attempt by I think maybe 20 years back by the government of India, but it was not very successful. But still they are claiming they are having something around 10,000 scriptures they are having, but where are those things? And I will be also telling you little later on that where you can get some of the informations. I will be telling in the after few lectures, where you can go and do research, get those information. Thank you very much listening, and I will continue in the next lecture.